how do you rate Sunak in terms of how he deals with the media and in general,
with the
terms
media?
of his and in
mean,
terms of him as Prime Minister?
Well, he's in a deep ditch, isn't he? I mean, everybody's in a deep ditch at the moment because there seems no way out of the chaos that we're in, and the poverty and the breakdown of the health service and the breakdown everywhere you look. It seems to me we're in a slough of despond, and I don't think any politician has a way out of it at the moment. The constraints are too great. I think you yourself have written about it. There's no money. We have a huge deficit. It affects not just us, it affects Germany, it affects France, it affects Italy, it affects the United States. I mean, we're all stuck, and I think Sunak doesn't have any kind of magic wand to wave. But I agree that he doesn't, if that's what you're saying, he doesn't actually give you any clear vision of what he's doing, except he's going to try and reduce the deficit.
You always have to resist, I'm sure you'll agree with this, resist the idea and temptation that politicians were always better in the past and sort of more titanic in the past. But might it be... again, going back to the sort of 70s, you were around then, and when one thinks of the cabinet, say the 74 to 79 Labour cabinet at that time, and you think about, you had Wilson, you had Callaghan, you had Healey, Shirley Williams, Tony Benn, even some of the people that have been sort of lost to time, like, Eric Varley or Silkin and all of these sorts of people. They were
John Stonehouse.
John perhaps not Stonehouse. But these were big people. And they had big hinterlands. Or maybe you disagree. Maybe because you were up close to them, they didn't seem that big at the time. What do you think? Do you think politicians have declined? Or is that just always a temptation that we shouldn't go down?
I don't know that there's an objective answer to that. There's always a danger. I mean, what they used to say was politicians who'd lived through the war, who'd, like Dennis Healey, been at Monte Cassino or the landings in Sicily or something, they were people with, to use the crude word, real bottom, people with substance. And that may be true, but I think much more important is that I think politics then was a much more creative business than it is now.
The Newsagents. This is a Global Player original podcast.